All right, here we are today, April 22nd. It's a little after 4 o'clock, and we're going to have a commissioners meeting for the Lunenburg Water District, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so we started a little late, but we're really efficient, so warrants are already done. I would accept a motion to approve the minutes of April 8th and April 15th.
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is subcommittee.
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
that was perfect. I've been trying to get people to do that
So moved.
Yeah.
20 years.
Do what?
Just
The
say
so
so
moved.
moved.
Yep,
It's so
so,
much easier.
item number 3 is discussion regarding non-compliance of the Woodland Condo Association to move kayak rack per Mass DEP.
Okay, so we had a sanitary survey a couple days. The last day's it's been a couple days. But anyway, when they were down there on site, the 14th, that was the day they were supposed to be removed. They weren't there, so they saw them, and we all got that package, and they're requesting that we request to leave the kayaks there. So I spoke to Mass DEP, and I said, I have this whole package, I can send it to you, go through it. And he says, no, don't even wanna see it. He says, we made a decision, that's it, done. Kayaks gotta go. Not up for discussion, and I said, what if we, if we don't have any issues with it? Nope, done, get them out. So he was very firm, didn't even wanna talk to me, he was, there it is, this is it, done. So, so there's nothing, he said, don't even ask, we're not, so it's really nothing.
So what, I think in essence, they submitted all this information to DEP, so that was really the ask.
They
Because
asked.
we gave them, when they wanted to leave them there, we requested that they remove them. They wanted to leave them there, so we said, you can definitely go to DEP and ask, and if DEP says yes, then we're fine with it.
Exactly.
So I think it was already an ask, I get it, I have my own personal opinions on it, but
Can I have it?
there are an authority.
What is your personal opinion on it?
It doesn't affect,
Yeah, and
That-
you and I should have.
right,
I-
but it
I have
does,
the same.
Yeah.
but we're not the regulating
I
authority,
understand.
DEP is.
So when I was sitting over there, I heard this back and forth all last year, pretty much back and forth. And I, quite frankly, thought it was sort of a wasted time, but now, but that's okay, we could waste our time, but now we might be talking about attorneys, all right? And so now we're gonna be talking about people opening up their wallet to deal with this, because attorneys cost money. So I got this letter, thank you, Chrissy. This
Is that the DEP
This is
one?
the DEP
Yeah.
letter. And I said, is there a way out of this thing?
I should have sent you, we've got like documents, I wasn't even
Yeah.
thinking, we have documents back from, I think if you go in there from last February of 2025, when this first started. I'm more than welcome to share them, their emails, but
No,
it just started all
I
of
think
this.
I haven't been following it at all, but I know what the issue is, and so we are where we are. But I was thinking, is there a way out of this? And so I looked at this letter, and there's a couple of statements in here that it actually these statements are significant because of the history. I understand that the Keating well was run continuously for what, 15 years, 16, something like
The
that.
Keatings or Hickory Hills?
I'm sorry.
That's
Hickory
okay,
Hills.
that's-
I
Yeah,
keep-
Hickory Hills.
Hickory's not continuous, but from 1995 to 2010, but it was shut off,
So
taken offline in 2012.
So 17 years. I did
It
my
was on,
subtraction.
available,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's running, well, I think it was running, anyway, continuously. And the kayaks were there. They're there before and they're there after.
They were
And-
never there before.
Before 19 what?
I have full picture when that place was put in, there's no kayaks.
Okay.
But I mean, I have pictures,
Well, the
Yeah.
kayaks, well, let's just take
kayaks
that.
are there probably, I'm gonna say, 10 years.
They were there the entire time Hickory Hills was operating, pumping water.
They were never, we used to plow into there, so it wasn't a full-time thing, so I'm not sure when they,
Okay.
well, when we put the well in, that was all woods, so It's kind of like the people fight for the gun range when they build a house near the gun range. But, so we were there before there was any condos, and, then it went broke. The bank went broke, so the whole project stopped for years. It was under federal control, the FDIC controlled it. So everything got shut down, even the construction of the well and everything, because we couldn't get the easement and stuff.
So when was it fired up? What year?
1995.
1995. I thought I saw in that packet,
I did,
um,
talking about the, zone one,
yeah, but the years,
yeah, oh, that,
Years.
way after that.
way after that?
Yeah, I was looking at that, earlier. I mean, I don't,
So
I'd like to find a
shut down when-
resolve to this, but again, it's, so, yeah, they talk about the, zone one requirements, effective date 2008.
No,
Then they
when
have
the-
amended date 2011.
Mark, no, when the kayaks were there.
Oh, when they were
Yeah, I
there?
thought
I
it
made a
was.
comment, I think, that they were there before our well.
Yeah,
was
they,
I
there.
think
they said
that's
they were
why
there
I
before the well
Yeah,
was there.
no.
There was nobody lived there, so they couldn't be.
No, the well and there was
So-
additions after.
Let's take it from 17 to 10. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
They were there for a long time.
For-
Well,
for quite a while.
Yeah, a long time. And there were no water quality issues. I didn't see any, I couldn't find any associated with those kayaks. So, I looked, there are two places on here, on this letter. Pursuant to this code, current and future land uses within Zone 1 must be limited to activities directly related to the public water supply well, then, and this is what caught my eye, or demonstrated to have no significant adverse impact on water quality. And then on the second page, it cites the actual regulation, and again, which the public water system has demonstrated have no significant impact on water quality. So in my head, when I read this, I had 17 years in my head. So operating, they make it between 10 and 17 or whatever that number is, continuously with no impact on water quality seems to, per these words, demonstrate that it fits into the category of it's okay.
So,
And they also even reference appeal. So what I would like to, understanding and recognizing what they told you verbally, I would like to recommend, since we don't really care, making a formal request for a variance on this based on the fact that there has been, they have demonstrated or that there's been no adverse effect on water quality. Just make it formal and let them be on record for that.
So when I spoke to the first DEP person, said he already told them they had to move and they wanted the actual written document. He said there was something about the PFAS on the coatings of the kayaks or something that when the rain hits it washes off. I don't know how true any of that is, but he had concerns about what was on it or how they would, I don't know.
But
I mean,
it also comes back to when we spoke to the lawyer, he sent, their lawyer met us on site, the very first meeting back in February, and he sent like a summary of everything, and that summary states that we were in agreement that they were only allowed to keep the kayak rack there if they got DEP's approval.
And they even gave
So
a site to
that was-
locate them.
They presented another site
I
to say let's
think
move it.
maybe these will be arguments coming back from them. I'm just making a proposal that we request a variance to allow those kayaks there unchanged, no additional ones, because that was also in that packet. And whatever, if there's other evidence, but that's sufficient to really address that point. And they may come back with exactly what you're saying. They may come back that these kayaks,
I think you already
by the
did.
way, just saying that there's something on the kayaks, the way I'm built, that's equivalent to saying like there's little green men coming out squirting toxic water. So
Okay.
unless they could show me the data, I don't even hear it, okay? So
who would you
I'm
have,
looking for a solution here, guy.
who would you have write that up?
Well, I wouldn't even want to, I'm so cheap, I wouldn't even want to even pay our lawyer to do that.
So are you saying that if Fran sends an email to DEP requesting what you're saying, and he gets either an email or a written
No,
statement back from them?
No, I think you and I and Woody, the board, has to send it, not the superintendent. I think that's probably the right way to do it. But we would have to support it as a water district board.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Would you draft the letter?
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah, I'll draft it.
Okay,
I'll
and then we
draft
can
it.
bring it up at another
Okay.
meeting and,
You don't want to deal with it now to agree to
no,
do it?
because I'd like the third commissioner to be able to
Okay.
review the
But
letter, and
I
he's
think
gonna
you
have
could
to
jump
sign
in,
it.
so, but I mean, maybe we can kick it off, get.
You could at least do a
moving.
draft, you could
Yeah.
throw the draft into our into our OneDrive.
I'll write a draft.
Yeah, at least then if it goes in the OneDrive.
Am I gonna get a tutorial on that, by the way?
I had to get one, Bill, so
Well-
I'm a
I
Google
can-
guy, OneDrive for me,
I
I'm
can
learning.
have,
Okay.
if there, maybe if there is a day, we can get Pixelated to
Okay,
come here
all right, I'm
and work,
glad
but
you
yes,
showed
I know.
up.
Just right now, I was looking for a file, everything got moved in this whole place.
Yeah.
They're all on
It's
OneDrive
more secure,
protected.
but it's
I'm like, I
tough.
can't find this file. It's
Yeah,
So if I move this, you won't second it, I assume,
No,
because of
well, no,
I
I
mean,
think I think we should have something that we can look at for a letter before
Oh.
we really motion to send it, and I would love the chair to be able to look at the letter and,
Okay.
and get his,
So I have an action item to draft this letter.
yeah, and like I was saying, if you type it and we'll figure out how for you to
Okay,
get it into the
alright.
documents, then everybody
do it.
can review it, you can do comments on the side, and then I can add it to the next meeting for you guys to
And you-
review it and.
And you agree it should come from the board?
I think that if wherever it comes from, it could come from us, it could come from the superintendent, it's coming from the Lunenburg Water District, asking them to reconsider, is what you're asking them
So
to, right?
if there was one that I sent, I would say it came up at a board discussion, the board felt this was their opinion.
I understand that, but I think it has more impact if we agree with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, that was,
Yeah.
if the answer's no, then we have,
So if the answer is no, then it would be Bill's correct, attorney fees. It would be we take them to court and they
But I
file
would
an
hope that we'd
injunction
be able to
against
have
them.
a conversation with them before we have to start charging all of our residents
They're gonna pay them.
lawyer fees.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Yeah,
pay
I mean,
twice.
I-
They're gonna pay twice.
Yeah,
yeah, it is
You know, I
ridiculous.
hate to do that,
Now,
that's,
if you went out here, I bet, and asked the water users, hey, are you willing to pay for an attorney to let's say, and I won't even use the word litigate, but get involved with this issue?
people would
I
be,
mean, the answer is no. So we got ourselves into this situation. Now we've got to figure out how to get out. Hey, if they come back and say these kayaks are putting stuff into the water, and more than hopefully documenting it, more than just saying it, well, now we're at the beck and call of DEP.
So it kinda goes to like the sanitary survey, like I even told her when she was here, I said, I'm not gonna tell you things that are wrong. You find something wrong, you gotta find it yourself. So when you're doing an appeal and you invite all the DEP down there to appeal the pilot test, and you have every hot shot from DEP there, you cause problems. So if you do something like you speed down the road and you call the police for someone speeding and you're doing the same thing,
And you get stopped and get a ticket, you kind of brought it on yourself.
yeah, so that's what's happening. I mean, a lot of the stuff, you bring DEP there, yeah, I mean,
Are you saying this kayak thing was brought on by what?
By the
when we
Woodlands.
did the pilot test, they appealed it. So we had everybody from DEP there. Yeah, our head guy, Randy Swigger, who called me and he said, let me check out inside the pump station. And he went in there and he's like, what is going on down here? You gotta get rid of this stuff. Which he would have never saw that if he was never there. So you invite the people there, you're asking for trouble. So I mean, like Bob Pease asked about the golf carts. Can we get golf carts? I'm like, no, you can't do motorized vehicles. Well, let me get DEP down and ask them. I'm like, you're asking for trouble, because who knows? They could go after the beach, the kayaks. I mean, you brought the people you don't want there, So if it's sneaking through and we don't have a problem with it, you're all good to go. You start bringing the bad,
Once some of these things get brought to light.
Do we know who to send a letter to?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, kind of related to this, this is a letter, not to the board, not to the superintendent. This is a letter to
the the water district, saying that we have to.
Oh,
be
I'm sorry, it is to the
Yeah.
water
Yeah,
district.
Should we be
I was
non-compliant?
mistaken,
Okay,
I
okay.
thought it was to them, but it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you a question whether they correspond with,
No, because I
independent
think you had said they, basically it comes to us saying that we're non-compliant now.
Which-
I put,
Yes.
was word
All right.
wrong, but yeah.
I think it's worth a shot.
I'm not opposed to it.
Right.
Okay, so, that's gonna be continued. Did we talk about having an action item section of our,
Like how I used to, couple
Yeah.
of things, yep, yeah, alright.
just, I would say that, just,
Well, I think some of the things that we've talked about, action items, continue to be on here, so I haven't really done down there, but I will, yeah.
now we're on to number 4, vote date and time for special meeting.
So we have messages out to the school, because we told them that the 20th is not going to work for us, so I asked them if we had any dates available for the following week, and we haven't heard back yet, so I didn't know if you guys could give us a approval on something that week. I don't know if it be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I'm not.
Yeah, cause Woody
I'm not
reached out
certain.
for the other dates that he was gone on guard, and that was that May 20th, which we originally said, but he was gone.
Then we threw out the 21st at some point too, right?
Oh, that was a Thursday, we could do the next day, so I think what Fran was saying, if we want, so I know Monday the 25th is, Memorial Day.
Not happening that day.
Yeah, so didn't know if we wanted to push it to the following Wednesday, the 27th, and he was saying even if we did a vote to approve the date of the special meeting, you know, the 27th or 28th, if we have something for you guys to vote on, because we don't have a meeting for 3 weeks, because of the way the calendar falls.
Well, we don't have a scheduled meeting.
A scheduled
Doesn't
meeting,
mean-
so, yes, I mean, I suppose if something changes, we could schedule another quick meeting just to vote the date, but,
It might be good on the 28th because we have a meeting on the 27th. In the event that. if
yeah,
it's-
I mean, I
if it's a
was thinking
timely
the special meeting, we would probably do later, like 6 P.M.,
Yeah,
right?
we do, yeah.
6
So
or
we could
6:30.
we could do our regular meeting and then go to, or have our regular meeting at the school or wherever, and then have the special meeting right
Yeah,
after. if we
same
want.
day.
Yeah. Whatever works for you guys.
Doesn't matter to me.
It's fine by me. Do we wanna maybe, vote to approve those 2 dates?
That's what you were
Yeah, I was
suggesting,
hoping
right?
we
Then
could
that
say,
way
you
we
know,
could at least
these dates are acceptable for you guys, and we'll see what the school is, and then we'll let you
set
know
the
what they
date,
say.
yeah.
I'm good with either.
Okay.
So you could just open it up to
The week of.
the fourth week of May.
So we're not looking to lock in a date or waiting for Woody? Is that?
No, the
Waiting on the
school.
school.
We gotta make sure the auditorium's gonna be
Oh,
available.
oh,
Yeah,
oh.
no, we know everybody will be here that week, well, not that Monday, the holiday, but the 27th, 28th, we just need to make sure that the school can accommodate us.
Okey doke. Would you like to make a motion, sir, or would you want me to?
I'm not, I move that we have the special meeting either May 27th or May 28th, depending upon the availability of school space. How's that? Is that
Very
cover what
nice.
we're
All
doing?
those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Okay. Okay, number 5, review PowerPoint presentation regarding water district funding options for PFAS treatment plant. So, we both did a couple things here.
So you wanna look at yours?
I think that you have more information in yours.
All right, we'll look at mine.
But mine was just, I think that how we do it, we may wanna add slides, because my only
Okay.
comment, I didn't look too far through it, so we can look through both of them, it doesn't matter. We can start with yours.
Well, let's just look at the first slide and
Yeah.
any comments.
Yeah, CP.
And does this set it up
To Lancaster.
well enough for the people to know what we're talking about?
Iron and manganese. Yes, if you looked at, this kind of goes along with if you wanna this is why I thought that some things, granted, it's kinda crude, but what the plan is kind of drawn out. So you have it written out, but you also kinda have it drawn out.
Okay.
I think it's my page
Yeah.
2 or 3. So the idea, it shows
Visual
all of
plan.
them, shows where the treatment plant is, shows that there's gonna be 2 transmission mains.
Did you take graphic arts?
Listen, that was,
Huh?
I was figuring out a way to draw it, there was a way to make straight lines, but I'm not a great
Kids
PowerPoint.
album.
It
But
does look like.
I should have had, my kids would have done a better job,
Probably.
yeah.
But, okay, I like the.
I like the visual.
Yeah, I
of
like
it.
the
I think
visual
that-
too.
It
yeah.
gives you
Yeah,
it gives you a
yeah,
visual,
okay.
so you
So if
could,
you
you
kinda
could do
did-
something like, sort of a visual after that.
Exactly,
This.
because the last bullet here says what we're
And
going
this.
for is a single vote on both the Keating and the SRF, and then
Better
this right
visual.
after it
Yeah.
would show this is what we're talking about.
Yes, yep,
I'm gonna combine the two.
Okay.
Make a
All right,
draft.
so if you made like this page 1
Yep.
and something like this page 2.
I'll give this to my granddaughter, she'll.
I think that, I don't know, you guys have PowerPoint here, you could,
Yep.
we could kind of,
Yep.
whichever way, but,
Yeah, we can tweak.
Yep.
so are you taking the same notes that we're taking?
Yep. Trying to put the two together. I mean, your cover
What-
page is pretty nice too, Mark. I mean, that's, bubbles.
You like my bubble?
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I kinda like the dates. you
Well,
know,
that's
plan and
that's
design
some
by
of the
end
things
of
that
27.
sometimes people need to understand
Oh,
why we're doing this, and that was my cover page was, right
Oh, the
now,
cover page?
my cover page had why are we treating the water? And we're treating it because we need to meet the requirements of EPA, the EPA and the DEP. And right now, the DEP says we should have designs by the end of 27, we should have construction completed in 30, but I think that's gonna get pushed as a possibility, but the
It's-
current date is.
Yeah, it was 29 to, they're gonna push to 31, but they haven't actually pushed it.
Well,
Right.
let me look at what I think I heard Ty and Bond say, when they were here. We'll jump to the third slide of mine, because, and if you take they said 2.5 years to build a plant. And so I'm really looking at, it says need to start now to meet current requirement dates. Looking at this, there's a lot, but there's time.
No, it takes a long time to design this stuff. That's
Okay,
why-
well, then, look at this, he said he would have design in by October if he started today.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you
Which is gonna
were
be
here,
crushed to
and
get
it's gonna
that.
be enough of a design to get the SRF funding, but they're still gonna have to finalize certain aspects of that.
Now, okay, so we should make sure we're on the same page here.
Because he said final design, but then he talked about March of 27, which would probably be the final out for bid.
Let's start today.
Okay,
I'm pointing here because that's where Tom was sitting.
Tom, yeah.
He said that he said he'd like to start yesterday, but he thinks if he started now, he can get this design in October.
Yeah.
And I asked him, is this a design for construction to go out to bids?
Yes.
He said yes. So that design is the final design, having to be approved by DEP in October. That's a DEP deadline, to have this design.
No, DEP's design approval is February of 27. So you gotta submit the design in October.
Yes,
And
that's-
then
But I
they.
think what Tom was trying to get across is that it doesn't have to be 100% done, final, everything complete by October. They need to see that you are almost
Well,
there.
but I asked him, I said, you're talking about design for construction, and he said yes. And to me,
Yes.
because that's the thing that would go out for bids.
But I think him and Lou also stated what Mark's trying to say too, is that they have to have enough of it done. It doesn't have to be 100% done by October.
The other thing I understood is, once they have the design done, before we can go out to bid, I guess this
Yeah,
is where
yeah.
we're hanging up a little bit. Before it can go out to bid, DEP has to
Yes,
approve
and
the design.
They have to get it by October.
Right.
Okay, to approve it. And it doesn't go out for bids until March of
Of
next year.
27, right.
Yeah.
But they have till
Okay,
February.
and then the
to
contract
approve.
would be awarded, if it goes out in March, we have March, April, May, into June, 3 months, say, to review and award the contract. So in June of '27, that contract would be awarded. Give it 3 years, not 2.5, give it 3 years, because by the time the thing gets started, in 6 months,
Yep.
this would be finished in 2030. And that's where I'm going. There
Yep.
seems to be, according to this, a full year of still of space, breathing room that we still have. So when you say need to start now to meet current requirement dates, I don't think so. I think that would, going with this schedule, I think it would be finished before 2031. It is still 2031.
If they, it's 29 right now, but they're looking to push it to 31.
So.
Oh, no, they said
currently-
31. I wondered if it went the other
No.
way. I thought you said.
No, it's 2029 right now. EPA is suggesting that they're pushing it out in 2 years.
Yeah,
Right,
So,
so,
but I agree with everything that Bill said.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
it goes, no, that the design will be completed, submitted to DEP, and then DEP takes months to approve the design.
Yes.
And I think that's where tweaking will take place.
back and forth.
Back
Yeah,
and forth,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
it might not be exactly this, so it's kind
Yeah.
of taking what everybody just said. But tweaking's gonna take place for the final bid to be approved.
For February to go out in March.
So, yes,
Yeah.
that's,
so if we were to wait on this, let's say somebody makes the argument, well, we got a 1-year buffer. What's the benefit to waiting
Well,
that?
that, actually, I put a whole bunch of stuff in my, what if we pass it, what if we don't? We can look at that
Yep.
and see what the options would be. So I'm just gonna, I mean, I wouldn't mind saying here, something about the schedule, but I don't, based on this, I don't think we say we need to start now. I think that's an important, we can say.
If you were gonna meet
The
the-
clock is ticking or
If you
something.
were gonna meet the current deadline of 2029, then
Yeah.
we should.
I could look it up. I'm sure they said it's moved to 31.
Yeah.
It's
I-
not
I-
going
it's
through yet.
possible.
Well,
A letter
who
just,
hasn't- the
a letter just
DEP?
came out, from, April 6th, I think I just read.
Yes,
Talking
so-
about that they're passing the EPA, I forget what it's called. The whole submittal is going through for the PFOA, PFOS to be finalized of 4 parts per trillion, and that the suggested dates, were moving from 29 to 31. Nothing has been
And we-
finalized, but this is their,
and we don't think anybody's gonna fight it.
yeah,
So
this
we
is.
think it's
I'd
Because-
be shocked
'cause
because
right-
these towns are hurting. I
Because
mean,
right now, they're saying, I think they're putting their draft out there, saying this is what they want, and then I think they do like for everything else, like the IUP, everything, they have to have a 60-day public open meeting.
So I would agree with you also, Bill, in like June of 2027 contract awarded. So what we were hearing for typical design is 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So that puts us at the 2030.
And the good news is we have the pilots done. Some people, as I look around, say it could be a 3-year project, but also it's because of the pilots that still have to be done. We had the foresight,
Yeah.
Mr. Fran, to get the pilots
To push the
done.
pilot studies through.
So maybe we get explicit, say something like, currently deadline is 29, but likely move to 31.
Yeah,
So we're accurate.
I understand
Yeah.
where you're
To
going
meet
with that, I
current
get it.
requirement dates
Okay.
of
My
2029,
personal
yeah.
feeling is we should start now, but we need
Yeah.
to, it's not something that's gonna go away,
Yeah.
I guess, is the way.
Some of the little
Possible.
tough things that might come out, because you got the 4 parts per trillion, which is the EPA regulation. Massachusetts hasn't adopted it yet, but they
Right.
will have to. And once they do, that, now you open that SRF funding to everybody, I think it was 166 towns, so it opens.
Well,
up.
I think we've kinda shown, that we went the first round with 0, the next round is 2%. I'm not sure, and through what the engineers are seeing, that less and less available. So yes, when you get more and more people trying to go after something, I guess that, that would be my urgency, is that I think that the funding is worthwhile to go after.
So, I
I
mean,
don't
that
see a
could, that,
benefit to waiting.
that could be under
and
what
lose
he's
the-
talking
lose the
about.
funding.
Yeah.
Could that be something under your section that you're talking
Yeah.
about, Bill, like repeat identical process in a year?
Yeah.
Well, what would happen? Delayed residential cost increase, possible, the closure of the PFAS MCL. So I think under that part, you could put what you just said. If,
Good,
it's you know, EPA is setting the limit at the 4 parts per trillion this year. Once that happens,
Well, I don't wanna get
In case you guys do, I'm a very, very linear person, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
But I'm on the next slide, and before that one, I'm on the
oh,
what
you
will
started
economic
talking about
slide. I
that,
know
you
we
started
did.
talking about
That's
this
my-
one.
Yeah, I know,
I'm
we
sorry,
started
that's where
getting
I thought you were
diverted.
there.
We're going back to.
Where
Now,
are
the
you?
second slide, okay, so we decided on this and followed up with a sketch.
Yeah.
Okay, a visual. Then the next question actually is similar to what you had here, Mark, the cost.
Yes.
So I just put down what the cost, we put a baseline down for the 41 and the 6 and for the Keating. By the so a $47 million baseline, and the slide before I said this is what they're voting on, that whole thing, so they know that. And then on the slide,
Which one?
Yeah,
I used 2,200, and the actual number is 2528. So that
Oh,
is.
no, you
I
got the
got,
right number.
this is a spreadsheet I use for,
Oh, don't change it again.
Eh,
Well,
this one's
I
better.
got 2528 from the.
No.
But this is a spreadsheet I use for our annual statistic report, so when I report how much gallons we pump, this is what I use to show how much went to residential users versus commercial. So this is actual breakdown, so like I'll show you that 2528 is one connection to one of the 24 unit places. So we have 10 24 unit buildings, so but on that 2528, you're only counting 10, but it's really 24 housing units,
This is.
so it comes at 240.
So this number is how many people are paying.
The 24 units
Let me
in
go grab
that.
it. No,
Each of them
that's not,
pay-
it was
yeah.
each
Each
something.
has
It's not one charge for the unit.
This is.
but it's
That's
total.
how-
Oh, SRF.
Okay, so what is that number
The
now?
heating is gonna be
Heating
is-
4.5% bond,
714.
so that's gonna
So-
bump that up, but I thought we were
SRF
less.
and
I'll change that
You
now.
can take this.
Was
Oh, okay.
41
Let me circle
million.
that.
But I think
I
this
tried to-
Well, that's good,
65
that means it's
is
a
that,
Heating.
is that
large
accurate?
Yeah,
number,
yeah.
right?
Nobody took
So
a picture of my
change
board,
it
huh?
here too.
Oh, I still have it.
Is it still on the board?
Yeah.
Cause I thought we had
2713.
less numbers than the 65
So
on
this
there.
is Niagara Hills, Lancaster. Cause what did we
But this is
figure,
the total,
6 million?
the total cost.
Yeah, I know, but you're doing 41,
So we based the SRF funds for,
so you gotta do the 41 million at 2.2
and then we need to do the
The
6
6
million
million
at 4.5.
at 4.5.
So just make sure, I
Yeah.
mean, I just wanna make sure we
Yeah.
double check the
Yep.
numbers.
I also I separated out the both, in the outside chance that they would allow us to incorporate heating under the SRF. So that first line here, this first
Oh,
line,
gotcha, yeah.
that's what that is.
Okay,
The second line breaks it out.
if we had the bond, I
Yes.
gotcha.
Okay.
I gotcha.
So did we make a formal request to incorporate heating under the,
No, it'll come in once the bids are received, and if the bids come in under the 41, and we can tie when we can never go over the 41. So let's say the bids come in at 35, that gives us the 6 million, we could add heating to
okay.
it.
So that line should be crossed out then.
Yeah, that's a.
That's a
That's
not,
Yeah,
Oh,
cause right
if
now,
we
it's
were
not,
getting-
it's
yes,
not a
it's not that-
consideration
yeah,
right
yeah,
now
I
until
gotcha.
Yeah.
we get to that
Yep.
point.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll check these, alright,
So-
check numbers.
So then,
Today's picture is that second line.
yep,
Yep,
All right, is this good?
yes,
Good
as long
with
as,
this?
Yeah, I'll
I
double
check that.
double check.
I'll double check the
So
bonds.
So would this
Okay.
be page 3?
I did by the way, on the bond, I just did a simple interest on that, simple loan interest. If there's another way of calculating
We-
a
Well-
bond, I'm not aware of it.
I think we came in a lot higher than 68, didn't we?
That was if you,
Oh,
that
no,
was if it
okay.
was
Oh, I
bond
gotcha.
completely, he's doing SRF
For the
41,
first and the 6
6 million for, the bond,
The bond.
yeah.
And I also added at the bottom, you see a 0.15%.
Yep, No, I think
So
that's good to have.
that incorporates.
is that in that 68
Yes,
number you have?
yes.
Yep,
Yes.
So, one thing we haven't really talked about it, because the whole point of the submittal of the SRF this year was there still is that principal forgiveness still tied to this. There's the 3.3%, if we are disadvantaged, it'd be 6.6%, so it's still, they still throw that in there. And then there was some discussion that the emerging contaminant grant
Yeah.
was gonna take the place of that, but from what I heard, there was another clump of money that came to the state, which they're using the emerging contaminant
Contaminant
grant.
grant.
So we could be 3.3% off of that.
The
number.
3.3% I thought was the emerging contaminant number.
That's what he's saying, he heard that it could be an additional.
It could be a whole separate pool of money that was put aside for the emerging contaminants, not tied to the SRF, because the SRF, principle of forgiveness is federally
Is there,
funded money.
is there anywhere
Ah,
So
that
I'm not
we,
sure on that,
I-
though, but that's
Yeah.
kind of the stuff.
I'm
I mean,
not sure of
That could be another point
The-
to put
yeah,
on.
The emerging contaminants is a federal fund, but it's given to the states to issue under their SRF program. Maybe there's something
Is
new
the-
that popped up, but that's the way I read
This
it.
is a separate whole
is the
application.
emergency, it's not tied to SRF,
Not at all.
right?
We applied for 41 million, and we have no idea.
So what's this other thing called other than emerging contaminants? Is there another name for it?
No,
No.
that's the name of the grant.
Well, see, okay, so what I read, the emerging is a federal fund, but it's given to the states, and Massachusetts has stuck that under their SRF program. And there's not, I don't know of anything else on it, but I don't monitor it, Fran. so
Yeah, I
mean,
don't, like, we had to apply a whole separate application for that.
Yeah, not part of the
And not part
SRF.
of the SRF, which is a whole
But it's,
separate.
administered under the SRF. You did it because you had an SRF, as I understand reading that, you were eligible for it because you're under the SRF.
No,
No.
no, I think anybody can apply for it.
All right, so we need some clarity on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so, but when I looked at the SRF application, it still said the 3.3% principal.
That's what I mean, that's the
6.6.
that's the emerging contaminant piece.
They're not
It's
suggesting
underneath
that it
it.
was
Say that.
under that, no.
Like, it's, like,
I guess however you read it.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
It
however
didn't
you
Could
read
you
it,
take
don't
an
read it,
action on it
yes.
this time
Is,
and bring some clarity to this whole thing?
right, I'm
Right.
kind of, one of the things I wanna
Yes, I'll,
have clarity to is there additional monies available possibly to us because of the SRF application that we have?
yeah, does that bump us up on that?
Does that,
Yeah.
because, great, we could possibly, because of the SRF, get additional funds.
That's what I think this is.
Or-
It's 3.3%.
Is you have that separate, the separate grant where you applied for all of it, is that have anything to do with the fact that we are part of the SRF program or not?
See, that's where I don't think, if there is another one, that I just
But
don't
the
know about
emerging
it.
contaminant one isn't, they don't have any set, you can, like 3%. You know,
Oh, yeah,
maybe
they do.
3.3.
No, I mean, it's a range, but we are a tier one, town. In the, what's it, deprived or not deprived,
Underprivileged.
Underprivileged, we're tier one, and that
Yeah.
tier one has the lowest percentage you can get from the
That's in
emerging
the emerging
contaminants, and
contaminant?
3.3 is the lowest number. Now, it could be higher, but that's the lowest number.
I remember
Yeah.
reading that for the principal
Yeah.
forgiveness, but not for the emerging
I
contaminant.
didn't
Well,
see
that's
that.
principle forgiveness.
No, they're two completely different.
All right, let's just.
But either
Yeah.
way, we'll get clarification.
Yes,
okay.
Please,
Yeah,
please,
yeah, I got a
please.
note,
All right.
So-
I got a note.
To be clear, the third page is what will it cost? Is that the
Yes.
third page?
Yeah, so now it will be this baseline, it will be only the bottom one
Yep.
Yes,
with the
taking off that line.
0.15%, and I'll
Yep.
correct these numbers again.
Yeah, I can go through and get that number that
Okay.
he has, so that's.
And that's page 3?
Yep,
Okay, so now where are we going with page?
Now, page,
so that's.
so
what
then I
will
just
it
go, what
cost?
happens if we pass it, what happens if we don't? So the first page, page 3, is what happens if it's a yes vote.
Okay.
And I put down here, this is what's gonna happen. Basically, it's the
Yeah.
schedule that Tom was talking about. And then I'm sure the water taker will say, well, what does that mean to me? What's coming out of my wallet? So I threw this other bullet in. Namely, they know what it's gonna cost overall from the first page. But the water takers will realize the costs increase gradually as the project develops. So as the money's pulled, I think we're only limited to the first year. It's a fixed amount, what was it? Wasn't that much the first year. But whatever, as we pull it,
In-
they get
Correct.
billed.
We had an amount for the first year for design, because we could use the SRF for that, but the intention was not to touch the SRF
Yeah.
or the funding options, and utilize the money that we were getting from lawsuits to
Yeah.
fund the design of this.
Actually, that's a tweak that could even go on this.
I agree.
That we could take about $1 million. So the we can take $1 million off these numbers.
But the SRF application, I don't
Off
think,
the-
I don't think it's right, because the SRF application says 41.
So
And
what-
that's what our residents have to approve, is the SRF, the IUP, right?
Yes.
So we can't really say, well, can you approve
Yeah,
40,
okay.
you
It
know,
could be
like, I understand what you're
No,
saying,
no, I
but I
agree,
think,
I
like,
agree.
People have done,
technicality,
so let's say that the engineer's estimate cost is 35.
Yeah.
All the contingency stuff comes to the 41. A lot of towns will approve the 35, and then now that they go above it, now they're scrambling for the other
yeah.
part, so.
So,
I
I
think
mean,
it's
that's-
best if we just approve the whole thing and
Yes.
So-
come in under budget.
Yes,
When we did
yeah.
Mass Ave, I think we've explained this before. We went out to bid, the bids came in, when we got to the final part. We started charging the residents based on what we anticipated the project to cost, based on the bid.
Oh, so it's charge them ahead of time,
It came in under,
yeah.
so we modified what the residents were paying because it came in for less. So we say, so in essence, this is what the project was, this is what it was when it was done, so, you know, everything was
Yeah,
saved.
yeah.
We had planned well enough that we were able to save people money in the end, but there's a few unknowns.
Yeah.
The design costs, we're gonna fund ourselves. We may get additional funding through the grants. You know, we're not gonna stop any of that stuff, but there's no guarantees of this type of funding, and we've already seen historically that this funding gets less and less of a benefit, as we keep going. So,
Okay, so is this accurate, this bullet?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you wanna add anything else?
Yeah, so we need to project a little bit and start to, so same thing with Mass Ave, we charged in advance to, it all went to the project. And then once we started having to pay for the project, we had money all ready to start paying for the project, so.
Yeah, I think it's once
But I
this
don't
gets
think we'll-
going, and we have
yeah.
a timeline of, all right, your first payment's gonna be
I
withdrawn
guess-
on this date, then we'll know, all right, we need to start charging our takers. That's information down the road, I think. I
Right.
mean, I don't
But
think it's gonna be.
realistically, we're not looking at grabbing any of this money until 27,
Yeah,
so we may
Do
wanna put that.
we wanna add here, starting in 27?
You're not starting until then at least.
the only thing, like, I mean, it's a good point on the bottom, but I think it is kind of confusing, putting this out there, cause they're gonna ask, well, how much is it gonna increase as project develops?
Well,
How
they have
much
to
is
be-
this,
Well,
like,
we should be able to,
so maybe that, underneath that, you know, but putting,
yeah.
you know,
They-
PFAS, you know, or like what
like
you
the-
said, above your line, water takers will
Yeah.
realize cost increase gradually as project develops. Water district intends to use its, you know, PFAS, litigation funds to I don't know, to offset,
Yeah, I think, like, this is what it's gonna cost them eventually.
Right.
We have that down. So what's it gonna cost me next week, next month, next year? And they're not gonna suddenly get this bill. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's what I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to get to. You're not gonna.
okay,
So, and can we fine tune it anymore to say, okay, in 2027,
I know
this
that's,
could, I mean, so that's why I just made it, it's
Yeah.
gonna, you're gonna,
Pretty.
it's gonna be like death by.
I know, but I picture well, what do you mean? How much is it gonna increase? You know what I mean? I think that's always been the question, is they would get mad because we would tell them they'll increase this much. Well, no, we wanna know exactly how much is it gonna increase and what are those,
Well,
that's all, it kinda opens that up to a general.
It'll be increasing gradually over 2.5 years. I mean, what else can you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That would be a tough one. Well, we got that water worth program.
When we break it down, you might be able to break it down, and I think a couple people had mentioned from the public before, that, you know, not funding this solely on the backs of all of the, the people that have the connection, but also using, you know, an increase in rates, so that people that use more water
Yeah,
pay more towards it.
Just like we do now.
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
alright, so that's
Do we-
page
Do we
4.
wanna put anything, that was 3, we wanna put anything else?
This one's,
Yes,
this
well,
one's 4.
I'll add here over 2.5, over approximately 2.5 years.
Well, that's 3, so that had to be 4.
Yeah, that's page 4.
Yeah, a yes vote is page 4.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, because page 3
Oh,
was
yeah,
what
because
it
we
cost
threw your.
through my mapping.
Yeah, yeah.
Your
My
pretty
high-tech,
picture.
my high-tech map.
Now,
My kindergarten teacher would be really proud of me.
So this was the, what happens if it's a yes vote, so then you
Yeah.
wanna go on into what happens if it's a no vote?
if it's a no vote, so I scratched my head, I tried to put everything in here I could think of. So, the first option, there's 3 options. The first one is, we just do it all over again next year. And then underneath, I have some impacts of that. This would delay the residents' cost increase by about a year, if the whole thing closes. The PFAS, yeah, this whole thing about DEP or EPA versus Mass DEP, that closure should happen by next year.
So supposedly we're in a couple months.
Oh, that would be good.
It should be.
Then, I mean, then we'll, good in the sense that we'll know where we are, not good.
I agree, it's not good, yeah.
We'll know where we are. And Mark, to your point, it could be that the eligibility gets tougher. So I captured 2 question marks. SRF availability, but then again, there's so much pressure on EPA federally to increase
But that's
increase
not,
the funding.
that's not a known.
But neither is this.
Well, we can speak historically that we had 0%, now went to 2%. We had
I
6%,
mean,
now
maybe
we're
that's
talking
what you need to
3%.
put SRF.
So, you know, historically, the SRF funding is less and less a bonus because they're taking away more and more that they give you.
So, you know.
I mean, I don't
I mean,
see,
you could do both. You could
Well,
leave
that's-
that, but it's a
yeah.
question mark. Is it gonna be improved? We don't know.
We don't know. There's-
We could tell you historically that this is the pattern it's gone, so I added that, a new bullet point historically.
how about just SRF availability? Availability. Forget
Availability.
eligibility, availability.
Is it approved or is there, yeah.
Who knows
Well,
if
the
it's gonna, who
eligibility
knows
comes-
if they're gonna even have SRF funds, an application for 2027? They might not even have it available.
I mean, yeah, so
They
thus.
will, but
thus-
I see what you're saying.
Thus, with that bull, I mean, we can't put all, I mean, it's a slide.
Right.
So.
No, we
so-
can't put all that, but it's simple, the SRF availability,
Yeah,
you know, and benefit. We don't know what the benefit's gonna be, we don't know, you know, yes, it may be available. Who knows,
Yes.
could be available at 4.5% instead of 2%, which is where we are now, we don't know.
that's why that's there.
Yes, so, but I think in.
But it kinda goes the opposite way of putting improved. That implies
Well,
that it
here's
could
when I
be.
say, improve, what I was thinking of, if they drop that down, I mean, right now, the eligibility is 10 parts per trillion.
Half
If
of the
they-
MCL. So
So
right now
10.
the state's at 20, so that's
Yeah.
why we get 10.
So 10, now the eligibility might go down to 5. That's what I mean by
I
improved.
think the eligibility will go down to 2.
Yeah,
But if it-
Half of the
If
MCL.
it goes down to 2,
Then
How-
everything's available, then everything's
yeah,
eligible.
but then
but
everybody's
then
applying.
everybody's looking for it.
That's,
Yeah.
That's the double-edged sword. You know, yes, we're gonna have more availability, but you're gonna have double the amount of people looking for it.
Great discussion. That's a great discussion. The point is, that information has to be here so that people can say, oh, now you're not gonna say it's gonna be 20% here and 40% there. You just don't know. This is part of that cloud. I mean, we talked about that at first meeting. These things come up and they start crossing up here and it gets very vague.
I just
So
think
all we're doing is informing the people, these are things that could happen. Do we wanna put a weighting factor on each of them? I don't feel comfortable doing that, not at all.
So, I'm having a problem with the word improve. I understand the SRF eligibility, but
Could I explain that again? The improved part, that's why I put that in quotes,
Yeah.
improved part. If the
MCL.
MCL goes down to 4, the eligibility could go down to 2. Guess what? Keating's is eligible.
Yep.
It's got 3 times that number, or somewhere in that ballpark. So that's what I mean by improved. That could happen.
That could happen, but
Okay, and the opposite could happen. Your interest rate's now 10%. I mean, all kind of stuff. We don't know, but these are things that might occur that we're trying to tell people, these are things that you should be considered, both sides. No, trying to balance it.
I think what maybe you have the same feeling as I do, is when you put that in, it sways them to a
It's
certain
suggestive.
way. It's kind of the way you like, the way I had worded my, the agenda item wrong by saying gaining their
Yeah.
support. It
That-
was worded
that's-
wrong.
that's where I was
Improved
going.
improved is a suggestive thing to say, this, it's implying,
How
I
about
think
we
every.
say requirements, eligibility might be lower, or, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Improve
that-
from our context, it makes more stuff eligible. So, but we have to capture that possibility. If they come in with 4 as a requirement,
So it could, yes, so it could be SRF eligibility for other wells.
yes,
But
that's
it
fine.
could, but then
But
it would
I-
also need to state,
I-
you know, that
I
opens
could
up
also-
SRF to 160 towns. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go one way, you gotta go both. I think that's what
I hate being
you're saying.
suggestive, because I could also say SRF availability, I could say declining SRF availability.
Good.
But I don't, that's suggestive. These are the questions that we have, and it could go either way, so you can't suggest which way the question's gonna go.
Plus, you
So
could,
do
you
we-
could do the exact same,
Yeah,
improved eligibility, declining
but
availability.
they're opposed
So
to
it's-
But why,
improved.
yeah.
No,
Oh,
but if you
that-
like
yeah,
that,
okay.
and then
So it's
underneath
improved
that,
It's the same
yep,
thing.
and then declined
So
SRF
Yeah.
availability.
Likely
Yep.
Yeah, that's
that
fine.
it's,
Yeah.
you're available to apply for it.
Yep.
If
But
we were
very
to leave
unlikely.
improved in, I would accept that, but I don't think we need either. I think you can talk about eligibility and you can talk about availability. I mean, or we do need to be descriptive on both, if that's the case.
And I think you could put that, in maybe in the same, improved eligibility / declined availability. So it's,
And
It
that
could
be easy,
improve our
because we're-
eligibility,
Everybody, it's
but-
eligible, more eligible to us, it's more eligible
But
to
it's
everybody
also-
else,
yes,
which
but
could
then
affect
it's-
the availability.
it goes hand in hand.
So I mean, it's
So we'll
pretty
put
easy
the
to
two of those
explain.
together, yeah. That makes sense.
You know,
Does
it's
that
it's
work?
up to people to weigh, I mean, it's a guessing game, I mean, it's,
It is.
yeah, so.
Yep,
Oh, all right.
okay.
Anyway, these are the only things I could think about then the second option, what if we vote no? Revise the process and reconsider. Revise, okay, the process I'm talking about here is actually what we talked about I think it was at the meeting last week, of first first doing the design, the hard design, going through these first couple of steps on the other side, doing the design, going out for bids, and knowing what you have, and then going out for money. That's what I mean by revise the process. So that's, in the first bullet, it says complete final system design, then secure the engineering and construction bids required. And I have under here, I actually think, Chrissy, you pointed this out at that meeting. Well, that's gonna take money to do this. But the thing is, it's not gonna take new money. It's gonna take the commitment, if it goes in this direction, for example, it'll take the commitment to pull that money forward, okay? So at this point, the board's gonna say, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go with this, so let's do this design now. Now we know really accurately, because typically in a construction design, they will put in, a 5 to 10% overdraw buffer in there. So we'll have a really solid number, I think, on what the cost will be. And then select the final design for and secure the funding, whatever that might be at that time. If it's bad news, it's gonna be high interest funding. If it's good news, we can at least apply for the low interest funding. Don't know. And also, I threw in this one, this occurred to me. These adjunct wells that we're gonna be evaluating, I think it's an opportunity over the next year. How long would that, okay, so if gets approved at the meeting, special meeting on May, say, 27th, how long would it take for that test to evaluate those wells?
Well, they're pretty quick on scheduling, so I would say probably 2 to 3 months, but we probably would know
So we'll know what we have.
status, yeah.
We'll know what we have. So I threw that in here as well. So that's another option. We start over, we do it this way instead of the other way.
Right. The other way is very close to to what you're saying in the reconsider process.
Well,
The only thing that we're doing is securing the funding now. We're not gonna spend any of it until what you're saying we would do in the, revised process and reconsider.
it's,
It's just where it's gonna be a, let's roll the dice and see what the financing is once that's done.
it's substantively different. Getting call it the line of credit ahead of time and then figuring out what it's gonna cost. And I was gonna comment on that later in the meetings, I'll hold my thoughts for that, okay? Because it's a significant difference, at least in my mind. You guys can determine what you think.
So just think about the system design, when Time Bond was here last week, I thought I told him whip up a proposal so we can vote on that, get that thing moving now,
Yeah,
and that way they can start, cause that was the whole
Yeah.
thing on the timing, was they didn't wanna wait too late in June to get this thing, if it's approved, then that tightens up their time frame for the October to get the system in.
But the
the
problem
design.
with that is we'd have to shell out money before.
we're
Yeah.
shelling the money out
So, to me.
either way we do this
Right,
project.
SRF gets voted down, no problem. So somewhere down the road, this
There's gonna
treatment
have to
plant
be
coming in,
that
so,
design work.
so, then the treatment plant's can be designed no matter what wells are in there, it's gonna be
And we're
capable of them,
utilize,
so.
we utilize money that we already have
So
to
we-
do that.
We're gonna do it, so, no matter what, maybe it's not this year, maybe it's next year or the year after. The plant's designed, we pay for it, and cheaper now than later.
I mean, once we decide we're going ahead with a water treatment plant, I'm all for it. Let's get the facts together on what it's gonna cost as fast as we could. So that's kinda consistent with
Yeah,
what
so,
I'm thinking
cause
for this.
I asked them to get the proposal so we can, cause it, like, never mind the SRF, we need that anyway, so let's get the ball moving.
We have the
That gives
PFAS
you a
litigation
pricing.
money, we could get the design done.
Yeah,
And we could
Now,
use that cash that we have.
Yep.
Yes, but again, we still aren't we aren't using the SRF money until after the design is complete, technically.
after the bids go.
So then that's available.
Yeah, so we're back on if the vote is yes. But actually,
No,
we're
we're back
not.
if the vote is,
Yeah, well,
the
that
vote is
comment
no.
is-
So it's, your revised process
Yeah.
is similar, but yes, we have a funding option already there. If something happens and we decide not to use that funding option after we get the design and we go out to bid, then we don't use it.
Well,
I would say at that point, because we are agreeing to the obligation, but until we take money, I would say that if we decided after the plans came in that we think the SRF funding is not the way to go, we could always say we decided not to use it and you haven't spent any of it. So I guess what I would say is people are voting on the opportunity, and it still does the same, you can still accomplish
Yeah.
the same thing in the revised process and reconsider,
I'm
and
good.
have that SRF in place.
I'm gonna share some thoughts on that later, okay? So maybe you won't change
But do
your
you,
mind.
do you see that it's still,
I see exactly what you're saying, but there's a significant difference in what we're doing now and what this second bullet is, significant difference. And I want, at the workshop, I guess I misinterpreted the agenda. I thought at the workshop, we're going, which is the meeting last week,
yes,
I thought we were going to look comprehensively at the SRF. And big piece of what I looked at is the projected cost or the estimated cost for the facility. And I had major problems with that. And then Woody said, no, we're not talking about, only talking about about voting on the SRF. And I looked at, and I see his point, so okay. But I wanted to expand on that later if I could tell
But I
you
don't
why
want-
I was talking about that.
I'm not sure if we talked about that extensively. If you go into that, that's the wrench you're gonna throw in this gear that's gonna derail the opportunity.
No, I mean, that's, we already
We already
said we're
discussed
voting
it.
on this, and then remember?
Right.
Four times I said that, like.
No, but I think
And we
you
said
started
that there were
putting it down.
steps that were gonna happen along the way that would allow for us to dissect and look at all these costs, and we'd have the real numbers from the engineers and their plans. And yes, there were things that we were talking about. We were talking about, PFAS treatment plant numbers and what you had, but we're not just building a PFAS plant too, we're treating iron and manganese as well. So when you think about the cost, there's a lot, and that's what the engineers are gonna be here to explain to us through the design process. And definitely, Fran, and I know Woody and myself, we don't wanna spend more of the district's money than we have to. So yes, I would definitely be asking all those questions, but I wouldn't hypothesize the answers prior to getting all that information.
We're talking about the PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, I got it.
None of that is in here, okay? I
I
mean,
get it.
but I would like to have a separate conversation because I think it's important. And I'd like to bring it up at the end, okay? But what we're not talking about here, we're just saying, here's the deal. And I'm
Okay.
trying to be as objective as I can in my presentation to say, here's the deal, yay or nay. The issues that you're bringing up are certainly relevant to the project, but I have a disagreement on the premise of one being like the other. And we'll talk about that when I'm in
Okay.
a minute, okay? So, are we good with that second bullet?
I agree, you know, if it gets voted no, then we still design the treatment plant. I agree, so I agree with that. And then we could get more accurate pricing with, once it's designed, we could, you know, get more, see what the bids would come in at.
And there's value in that. There's value in doing that before you go out to get the money, and that's what you and I were
That's
bouncing
where we're
back
in
and forth,
disagreement,
right?
yeah, yep.
Okay, so then the third one is do nothing, and I just did a core dump on this. So it would delays the resident cost increase, for sure. Possible closure on a PFAS MCL, well, I think that's gonna happen based on your input anyway.
Yep,
It will modify, there could be a modified SRF eligibility, either way. Okay, no, actually, the modified one has to go down. All right,
What?
as far as eligibility, if there is one, it's gotta go down, they're not gonna increase the
Eligibility.
yeah, so,
Yeah,
yeah, somehow,
yeah.
the way it's gonna
Yeah,
be modified.
yeah.
Yep.
The model is less money.
inflation with the question mark. There'll be, again, an opportunity to evaluate those should I call them Fran wells?
I thought
It
that's
was,
a
it
good
was,
idea when it
it
came
was
up.
your brand thing, it's okay. So anyway, I call them adjunct wells, we could rename that if you want. It tightens the timeline, yeah, if you do nothing, it really tightens. I have 2031,
Yep.
so it tightens it.
I think even at that timeline, I think, yeah, you're,
And then the SRF eligibility, okay, so it will modify the eligibility, it's a separate bullet, and the other one is, I don't know, is that,
Will
is
it
that,
even be
is that a
available?
duplicate, is that a
SRF.
duplicate?
yeah, I
Eligibility.
think you can either,
Yeah,
you could just say SRF eligibility and the modified SRF,
Well-
one or the other is
yeah, I
fine.
like the modified, because that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay,
All right, so scratch that.
And what's the litigation, our payments?
Litigation, what the heck's litigation?
That
Oh,
the-
it was, I don't have
Is
it.
that the one that
That
people
Andy
keep
was
trying?
brought up.
Yeah.
I know.
That
So,
there's litigation going on by this American Water Works Association to challenge the
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
No.
EPA,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're challenging the EPA's
4.0,
4.0, yeah.
yeah,
So that's
For the
out
hazard
there.
index, not PFOA and PFOS.
yeah.
It's all misunderstandings.
Yeah.
It's, he reads it one way, we read it another way. We talk
And
to.
we even call the
we
people and like,
even
hey, what is
call
this? And
the-
they agree with us.
Yes, we've called people and
Well,
asked
help
because it's
help
very
me out,
confusing.
what, I thought the
Alright, so
litigation,
They, right now, there's currently the PFAS 6, so there'd be 6 PFAS, Massachusetts anyway. The EPA was at 70, so they dropped it to the 4, and they specifically called out certain ones, like the P4, PFOA,
no, this is the EPA, yeah.
and then the PFOS. Then those were like studied and proven to be health effects. And then they threw in these bunch of other ones, like the Gen X and these
They're called the hazard
hazard
index.
and all these other ones that Massachusetts doesn't even have in their PFAS 6 regulation. So from what we read it and asked people, those are the ones that
Are being
being targeted
challenged.
for, because they didn't do the proper investigation.
So this AWW?
Yeah, American
whatever-
Water Works
well, yeah,
Association.
They
yeah.
are suing, the EPA, not on the PFAS A and PFAS S. They're suing them on these other
Hazard
aggregates.
index.
That's
It's-
how we all,
It's hard because when it first came out, everything's classified as PFAS, PFAS
Yeah.
6, PFAS 6. So that's the way it's worded multiple times in this litigation that American Water Works is putting it. So they're associating the PFOA and PFAS with this. But if you break down each of them from what we've talked to the engineers and everybody, that when you break it
Mass
all down.
Waterworks.
Yes, that it's the PFOA and PFOS, nobody is challenging that, and we have multiple other sites telling us they're not challenging that, it's the hazard, they're like byproducts.
So if you look at the papers, the litigation papers that this organization put out, PFAS A and PFAS S
Yes.
do not appear. Is that what you're saying?
It will be listed in there, but they're talking about their sub-products are being the ones that are
Well,
challenged.
in what context do they put them in there, just for
I don't
general?
remember those in the actual
Maybe it's just the
statement. I
PFAS
said
6.
They named all the other ones, that PFAS 6 that's a Massachusetts thing, EPA has a whole different thing. So I don't think you'll see the F and the A in there.
Okay, so let me take this as an action item. I mean, first of all, so you don't think any outcome from this litigation
No.
will affect anything?
No, it will not affect the PFOA and
It will not, you
PFOS,
think?
no,
Okay.
because everything that we are reading and being told by DEP, by everybody, is you need to be ready. And if you look under AWWA, I believe on that, one of their sites, it says they support EPA's decision for PFOA and PFOS, not too many abbreviations, the
It's
two
easier
main
with
ones.
Who supports it?
American Water Works, everybody does. Everybody is,
So-
supports EPA's decision on that, but they're challenging, like Fran said, the steps that were taken to evaluate setting the MCLs for the hazard index
So
of the other products.
let me take an action item to look at this, and I'll do as much research, and I'll run it by everybody. If I
Yeah.
agree with that, I'll scratch it. If not, I'll come back with what I find. And I can't talk to you, to talk to you.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, I think,
I mean, you can talk to us and we talk to you.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't this, I mean, it's absurd.
I follow and I get what the engineers were saying in from Fran. I don't think the litigation has any bearing on the chemicals that are in our well and how harmful that they are proven to be. That you're gonna litigate something down to not be harmful, I don't
No.
get it. So that's why I felt that the litigation should not even be
In here.
in here at all. But if you can find just a cause to put it in here, but I think it's just a way to
Yeah.
cast doubt.
delay.
Yeah, well, and that's a part of it too. Sometimes there's a conflict with trying to be the stewards of the water takers, and at the same time balance it with
Oh, it's that,
water quality. So that challenge won't go away, right? All right, so that's all I had on the presentation. Did you have anything more in here?
No, it's yours,
no,
try.
we talked about cost.
All right.
I think making sure that we had the dates. I thought it was kind of and I don't care if we change this, but to let people know that the DEP and EPA are setting, deadlines on this.
Yeah, you have costs. No, I think that's pretty good, I think we'll clean it up and have, so is
You're
the
gonna check
idea
my
of
comment.
this to try to get this out social media before and then also have it,
Yeah, that was actually
As-
my question. I thought this was a PowerPoint for the meeting.
Not for this meeting.
oh,
Not
for the
this
special
meeting,
meeting?
for the special-
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
oh,
no,
yeah.
and that's what I was questioning, I mean, cause I think it would be helpful to verbally present this at some point to the residents, and I think you would probably get that the most at the special meeting, cause
I was
everyone's
thinking
gonna
we
come
do
out.
it, get the town hall, we do it, the presentation there at the town hall upstairs, selectman's office. And then we get it on TV so people can see it prior to the special meeting,
Yeah,
because,
I think it's worth doing
I
it
think-
at the special meeting as well, though,
well,
because
I'm not opposed to
yeah.
it.
Did you at the selectmen's board,
No,
meeting or
just
the room?
using the town hall, not at their meeting,
Yeah, so
but
we
using
can, we
their
can
hall
call
to have the,
and see if we can get a time for that.
yeah,
And then we can do this, and if you guys want, we can bring engineer, whoever you want.
yeah,
And, I just feel,
should get out there.
a lot of
before.
times, when the presentations go out there, I feel that we would do a better job at it than the engineers doing it.
Yeah,
I think we need
They
to.
got the big brains, but
trying
not
to
the,
keep it
uh,
simplistic and go through this. Everybody's gonna have a
Lots of
million
questions,
questions. There's
yeah.
no perfect way to put this
Right.
out, because again, everybody will always still have questions about it.
Because, I mean, that's where we're living with this thing, you know, it's not a.
It's not, well, it's a forever chemical, so it's not going away.
so I guess my question is so if we're looking at that, so our next meeting isn't until the 13th. So we could probably work on this, go through the OneDrive again, go back and forth, and then maybe we'll
I
need
think we
to,
originally talked was the first week in May, if something that's.
yeah, the
town hall.
6th and stuff, yeah. So, I mean, if we work on this all next, we can talk to town hall, we can add another meeting.
Yeah, see what we can get for a date, and
I
maybe,
don't know.
So I think we need to start getting this information out to the public as soon as possible. So
Okay.
even if we had to get this together and have another meeting for
Different
us,
scheduled meeting,
or
yeah.
you get it out to us and we all kind of put our blessing on it,
Yeah,
then we should start trying to put it out there.
okay.
Are you guys doing, was OneNote, what is it?
The OneDrive?
OneDrive, are you doing that now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. I better get,
we haven't actually put anything in it yet.
yeah, there's
We
nothing in
just
the
set it up.
commissioner's file,
Oh.
you know what, why don't,
if you
yeah,
did-
I'll talk to you after, we'll get
Okay.
it set up.
Okay.
We'll get everybody hooked up on it. Alright, so we'll keep updating this and then we'll
Sure.
decide on different dates. Alright, so I'm telling your pages out.
Okay, that's fine, yeah. So this is basically what.
I have the, yep, I got the draft right here, so. Let's see this. Let me just take them.
Yeah, just get rid of those. I'll hold on to these. All right, so the next thing we have on the agenda, review and vote to add to the water district rules and regulations, updated collections and shut-off procedures.
I gave you guys all a printout of the page from the rules and regs, under payment of bills.
Yeah.
The few changes that I made, are just in red. So out of the guidance of our, working with our auditor, for collections, we, have been working with customers a little more, getting into more set payment agreements, trying to work that out. So that's kind of what I incorporated in here. We never had any language, definitive for our payment agreements, so it's kind of just a standard thing that I just wanted to add.
So, about halfway down, it says the water commissioner shall, in accordance with the provisions of the applicable law, have the right to shut off the supply of water to the premises. So is that, I don't know, does that imply that I have the right to go shut somebody's water off?
Yeah. I had a
Let
question
me,
about that.
That's what I,
Hold on.
should that be, I mean, I guess,
That was already, so this is
It was already in
here.
there.
It is.
it sounds like
So,
that.
yeah, it does,
Yeah.
rendition of second notice, the clerk shall send delinquent written notice within that, yeah, the
Now-
water commissioner shall, in accordance with the provisions of applicable law, have the right to shut off the supply of water to the premises, subject to the provisions of applicable.
I think it's
applicable
probably
law.
because we vote for
Well,
this
subject-
spot, we vote this in,
Yeah.
so it's probably through our authority that it just gets done.
Well, I like that, that was gonna be my question, consistent with applicable law.
Yeah.
I'm missing that
Am I
statement.
maybe I took that when I was trying to add things in here, so it says provisions. I have the original right in front of me, so the water
Okay.
commissioner shall, water commissioner in accordance, have the right to shut off the water to the premises, okay. And then there was a line after that that says subject to the provisions of applicable law.
Yeah, yeah, they're funny about
So-
utilities.
So I like the way that's worded, the one you just read.
Subject to,
Yes.
okay, so add that one, supply of
So that
water.
means if the laws change.
So-
Yep, okay, so I just need to
So-
add, it's in our original.
Instead of
I
in
just-
accordance with
when
the
I was
provisions
adding-
of applicable law, we're gonna be subject to, what was it you read?
So it says both. The water commissioner shall, in accordance with the provisions of applicable law, have the right to shut off the supply of water to the premises, subject to the provisions of applicable law.
So we just need to add that.
So yes, so I need to put that, I got it right here, shut off. Subject.
So a lot of this is people will come in and set up a payment plan and they don't stick with it. So we need some kind of backing to help us push it into
When they come to do their payment plan, we
What
want,
percentage or number of people are in that situation?
on payment plans?
Either, no, or
How many
don't make
shut-offs?
their payments.
How many shut-offs do you?
Or,
We haven't actually shut anybody off, you know.
no, but are behind, let's say who are
That's
behind.
quite a
Yeah,
few hundred.
I mean, yeah,
well, it
you know,
depends what you wanna define as behind. I mean,
Did-
if they're the 60 days late,
Yeah,
because
that-
that's technically,
yeah.
so I'd say, so we send out roughly 2,500 bills. Our second notices, which is 30 days later, is generally between 500 and 600. And then I would say probably by we're just getting to that shut off point now where it's gonna be the 60-day mark or payment arrangements, I'd still say a couple hundred.
couple hundred.
Couple
Yeah.
hundred shut-off notices a week.
Well, which technically we could, but it's a matter of how do we handle that? So we're trying to get, you know, if you're one quarter behind and you're at $97, we're not gonna be putting we should be putting a shut off notice on your door because you're now technically 60 days late, but because we have to look at it and go, all right, well, your water bill was $3,000, you know, so we've been working, actually my assistant Lisa's been working really hard on this. She's doing an amazing job, but we get a lot of pushback from people. So this is why I wanted this, when people come in to do their payment agreements, I wanna be able to print this and give this to them and say, listen, so when they call, this is it.
And pushback, what kind of pushback do customers give you?
We get all the drama stories. I'm sick, I can't do this, I can't pay my bills, I'm allergic to life, like I'll get, or they,
But it's nothing directed at the water department.
It's not because of our service.
Yeah.
no, just life complaints. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Are we good to add these?
Yeah, I don't see anything that jumps
you
out at
okay
me.
As long
other
as
than
they
adding
have
that.
the applicable laws in there, I'm good.
Yep,
Yeah.
subject to the provisions of applicable law.
We need a vote, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, just this last line, looking at real
Oh.
quick, if a payment arrangement is made and broken, the resident will be notified immediately with a shut-off notice on their door. I guess, I mean, we've gone through 3 notices and you got to the point where you've made a payment plan. If you're not gonna stick to the payment plan, and your payment plans are pretty lenient.
We're pretty
Yep.
good.
No, I'm good with
Yeah.
that, yep.
Alright,
Yeah, I guess a motion to
Provisions.
this, adding in the,
subject.
I guess I would say I would accept a motion to, the modification of Article 4, payment of the bills, sections 1 and 2, as submitted with the addition of subject to the provisions of applicable law.
You want me to do it again? So
So,
moved.
yeah.
There you go, all those in favor? Aye.
No, I would write a note on the piece of paper right here, so moved, and I'd like point at it, and they still wouldn't do it.
Okay, superintendent, commissioner, superintendent, clerk, treasurer's additions, we got anything?
Nothing I can really think of, we got some leaks going on, actually found another one today, well, we get them called into us. So we have Pond Street, leak on Leominster Road, and then today's one was, leak on Island Road. And I don't mind me asking, if I can ask a question to Mr. Fortune?
If it does, is it a public thing,
Well,
or?
no, it's about digging up a line of Hickory Hills, cause Hickory Hills, the town owns the road surface, they don't own beneath the road. So the old past, president of the association would call, hey, you do not have permission to dig in that road. It's not the town, it's Hickory Hills, so I was gonna ask, what do I have to do to get permission to dig up a road in Hickory Hills?
Just contact the office.
Just let them know?
Yeah, just contact the office and ask for permission. I mean, I don't know, and just give us an idea where it is,
Okay,
you know,
Just
and
okay.
then, yeah, and then she'll probably contact me and we'll give you something back,
okay.
you know, formally, so you have.
Usually, in the past, it was Judy Dale, she would like, you can't dig that road.
Yeah,
They
if
put house
you have a
service.
water pipe that needs fixing, you need to fix it.
You need to fix it,
I-
yeah.
I
But,
don't disagree with that,
Yeah, she would just say, just let me know, so I would just let her know, so. But
yeah.
alright,
Just
so
call the
that's
office.
easy.
Yeah, just contact the office and have, yeah, that way we
Piece-
can get
that's
that
weird. So
something
the-
formally and you're covered.
So the town owns the pavement,
Just the pavement.
but
There's no
dirt
change.
under the road, the Lake Association owns.
Corporation does,
Corporation,
yes.
yeah.
So like, you go down a typical road, the town has the taking, so usually it's like,
Yes.
say 10 feet on each side, not Hickory Hills, it's just the road.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Island Road, cause that's an old road, so, but all like Peninsula, Hemlock, all those other ones were, those applied, so I'm not sure. South Road doesn't apply, Townsend Avenue
And
doesn't.
did you have a leak on Northfield the other day as well? I saw you.
Well, we had a main break in January, and we closed one of the valves, the valve broke.
Yeah.
Closed, so, we had to dig it up.
Before they paved.
Well, we didn't know they were even paving.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, no idea.
I was gonna say, took advantage of the fact that we're paving.
We got lucky enough.
No, yeah.
Yeah, they would've been mad if we dug it up next week, cause we have to fix it. so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we got the new machine up top, if anyone wants to check it out,
Can we try it?
you can try it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you
Get
help
your
pay,
racing
you help pay
license?
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, we're out flushing, a lot of IT stuff going on, the cybersecurity, a lot of stuff, and we just tied in the internet, so we got a whole link system, but we just made the tanks have internet available to them, so that when we do the meter reading software and antennas, we can actually read and have it put to the internet, so we can access the internet to get the information, so. Two-way radio guys still going ahead. They're getting a little closer,
Mhm.
kind of finalizing some stuff. I think they're waiting for the tower guys to get the new antennas out. Yeah, so everything's going pretty good. Sanitary survey, like I said, was last week. Not finalized yet. So the way it works is whenever she finds something she wants fixed, the guy's word, she finds it, you put it to the rest of us, we're gonna have it fixed before she even leaves.
And I think you did a couple things, yeah.
It's usually a little thing, like this pipe doesn't have a screen on it, so like it can't get a little critter from going up it. But a lot of the pipes, the pipe doesn't go to actually anything in the water system, it's like just a drain pipe that leaks, drains out. So it's not one that we really are concerned with screening, but she says screen it, we just put a screen on it, put a little clamp on it, done, off the list. So that's how we try to do everything, so.
Good.
So we'll see how it goes. That's it.
Okay,
I just have one quick question. The survey, Nicole had asked, are we keeping this open? Do we want a final report? I mean, I know we kinda got a draft report from her.
yep, do they do is there a shorter report, or was it just basically that, is there a
I
shorter
can
version of what
ask
you would
her,
do,
this was
or
a
is
quick,
that-
like, hey, this is a draft one, I can ask her. She just happened to say, hey, were you guys looking to close that to kinda have, I mean,
It was for the meeting last week, she just kinda did a quick.
yeah.
uh,
I mean, it could be, I don't know if we
Fill
want
out
to.
yet, Bill?
Did you get the?
I'd like to close it after Bill fills his.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't.
So,
Yeah.
well, why don't
Uh,
we put out like a post, you know, maybe a date? Why don't we pick a
Yeah,
date?
good idea.
Hey,
Yeah.
last chance to fill out the survey,
Sure, throw
Like
something up on
mid-
Facebook
mid-May.
so that people can and do
Yeah,
whatever.
last
It's
chance.
literally not even 5 minutes.
why don't we do, I mean, mid-May would be nice, cause I mean, we have, I mean, is it worth letting the residents know the results that, you know, the majority,
How many
We're
respondents
picking the
do we
three.
have?
uh,
Like
273?
Oh, well, shoot, for 1,500.
I know,
It's 10%.
Your 10% is actually pretty good.
I
Yeah.
could do that, 27, well, it's an easy calculation.
so what do you think, maybe like 2 more weeks?
Yeah.
We'll do it
Try to
last,
blast out, see what we get,
we'd
what
love
else
to
we
see,
can
you
get.
know, we'd love to get all of your
And
input
then-
before, you know, the special meeting vote, you know, we'd love to see, something, alright.
Yeah, I'd say, I would just keep throwing it out there a little bit more and see what we can do. I would maybe just ask if they have another selectmen's meeting, that they bring that up again. And it's like most things in town, 10% of the town or less makes all the decisions for the rest of the community.
And your emailing list has got, it went to all the users, right? So all 2,700 approximately got that, or
We
no?
don't have-
We don't have an email,
No.
blast.
Oh, you don't? So
No.
who got the, just put it on the
We
website?
had the cards that mailed out.
Yeah, we don't, yeah,
You
we
did
don't.
mailings?
Yeah,
Okay.
just the mailings and,
No.
and social media, yeah, unfortunately, I would love to be able to, I don't know, maybe with this new, billing program we're switching over to, maybe we can try to reach more residents. Anytime we have someone call, we try to get their phone number, their email, anything, cause there are some accounts that we don't have anything. I had to email someone one time when I found they had a high water bill, didn't even have a phone number for them. I would love for residents to be able to do that, cause if we find stuff, it'd be nice to notify them, so.
You'll get more of that, cause we have the new program coming, that
The billing,
The
the
meter,
the meter program.
the
Yeah.
meter where they can actually.
So
see
they're
I know,
gonna
I
have to submit some of that information to be a part of that.
I know.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
It's gonna be
hopeful
fun.
that we can encourage residents to update their contact information for us and get everything on that, so it'd be good.
Okay,
Well, that's it.
Mr. Emke, you got,
Oh, yeah, as promised.
yeah,
As promised. So at our meeting last week, I jumped into the estimated cost that Ty and Bond put in. And there was a method to my madness, so if you just bear with me, I'm gonna go over those, and then I'll tell you what the issue is in my mind, okay? So, first of all, just talking about their estimated costs, I looked at the estimated costs for Hickory Hills and Lancaster, that's all that I had available. But we can add something for that main, whatever that number is, which jumps between 6,000 and 10,000, depends which paper you look at. The master plan had it at 32 million. Then on the pilot report, they had it at 38 million, and the SRF submission had it at 41 million. And my only point here is, this is not inflationary. Inflation is not the impact on this. There's differences in absolute numbers that were entered. So it was a question that I had for Ty and Bond when they were here, but I guess we never got to it. They put in for their design services $2.9 million. And so I at 100, I put $150 an hour. I noticed that design artist had $175 an hour. So they're making more than the engineers maybe, I don't know.
I don't.
So I put in 150, and Tom, I keep going over here because that's where Tom said. He kind of nodded his head, he could recognize that. So at $150 an hour for this design services, that comes out to 483 FTEs, that full-time equivalents. That's equivalent for having a single qualified design engineer for 10 years, full-time, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 10 years. Or you could do the division, you could put 2 engineers on it for 4.5 years, or you could put, or 5 years, or, so you do it's absolutely exorbitant. So,
But he talked about that.
yeah, he did, but he didn't say anything.
He said that was just a percentage of the total price, and that was the maximum allowed they could put for the SRF, and that's what they started.
And that's my point, that's
But he-
exactly my point.
But he said the actual true cost is around $1 million.
And that's
Well,
why we need to wait for his design,
His
his
proposal.
estimate for design.
Let me just, please bear with me,
Okay.
okay? 'Cause let me tell you my issue, and I'll tell you where I'm going with it. And that's, what you just mentioned, Fran, is exactly the issue. These are numbers are off.
They're
That's the most I could put in for the SRF. And that, by the way, bothers me, again, for the reasons I'll explain. Then they also put in for the, they call it engineering construction services. This is I assume, the engineer who goes to the site, sees what's going on, talks to the contractors, takes information back, writes reports, deals with conservation, all the state and local people, and interacts with vendors. But anyway, to give you some idea, if we were to hire, again, at $150 an hour, a qualified engineer, and that person were to work for the entire duration of the 2.5 years for the construction, 2.5 years, again, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks out of the year, give them 2 weeks vacation, or her, 2 weeks vacation. That bill would come to $780,000. They have $4 million in, okay? Again, I understand, I had a couple of other things here. And I mentioned this, we did talk about this a bit. If you look, I'll repeat it again, but you heard it last week, at the costs of just the CapEx for the buildings, just the CapEx. Forget about the water main, forget about engineering services, just the CapEx. And for 1 million gallons, we're designing for about 1 million gallons a day. And you get input from all around the country. The PFAS treatment for that, for 1 million gallons a day, is between 1.5 and 4 million. And also for the iron and manganese is up to 2 million max. So the total combined for that facility, that filtration, maximum was $6 million. And this was actually AI generated. This is actual data from plants all over the country. And it has all different sizes of plants, but the ones I indicated last week were the ones that ran a million gallons a day. Actually, 1.5 million gallons a day. And you can see the maximum that you can't see, but that number is 6 million, and here's 1.5, and we're over here at 1 million. $6 million, and these are, I didn't count them, maybe it looks like maybe 50 data points. We're at 24.3, just the CapEx for the building. Tom said, all places are different. I understand they're different, but I asked for, do you have a line item on that? And he said, yeah, I have it. I didn't get it. You're supposed to send it to me or send it to you, I don't know. But that's like that's 2 to 4 times what everybody else in the world is charging. Now, so what? To your point, maybe it's gonna come in less, okay? And we have this buffer. And that sounds good, but I'll tell you, from my experience, no investor, and I look at our water takers as investors, no investor would ever take a loan out for a project for a higher number than the project actually costs. Certainly not maybe 50% higher. And the reason they don't, I mean, by the way, that's not an investment. Heck, it happens in your homes. I mean, some days you're flush, some weeks you're flush. Hey kids, let's go out and have lobster and steak. I mean, it's a natural condition, if you will. It happens in industry. It happens in mid-sized industries, really large industries. We have a lot of departments. Here's your budget. Guess what? Nobody underspends their budget. Nobody does. Government. The Does anybody underspend their budget? No. So to say, this is what it's going to cost, and then have a loan for,
We do.
For,
Honest to God, we do.
call it a line of credit, you develop a spending culture, a bad spending culture, and purchases for equipment, purchases, for services, it just doesn't get the scrutiny that it needs to have, because that money is it's perceived as, it's oftentimes treated as, free cash. It's not. But the actual operation of any project that has that kind of situation, it's a very dangerous spending condition. So from the point of view of the water takers, I think, and they would want to know, to the point you and I were making earlier, lock it down as best you could, okay? And that's what it's going to cost, plus or minus maybe a couple percent, and then let's go out and get the money for it. That's the point I wanted to make last week, and that's the point I'm making now, so I'm done.
I get it, and I understand your point. A couple comments regarding some of those. Those are all PFAS projects?
These are, yeah, these are.
So we're
Some-
building, we're doing not only PFAS treatment, we have to build a structure big enough to treat PFAS and iron and manganese.
Oh, these are here's the PFAS and iron and manganese. It's
Okay.
on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I understand to your point, yes, so what you're saying is you wholeheartedly believe this project should be less than $41 million.
I
I
have.
get it.
I have
No, that's what you
doubt.
said, right?
Yes, I have no doubt.
I have no doubt. And
No
if we go and acquire funding for $41 million, that the people bidding on this are gonna try to grab as much of that as they can. Because that's,
I'm not talking. I don't want to imply anything. Grabbing suggests something negative. I'm just saying I'm not talking like fraud or anything like that. I'm just saying that's the nature of the beast. I could put this kind of tires on my truck, and but I can get better tires down there for twice as much. Oh, it's related to the removal of media. It relates to the PFAS project. It just goes on and on. It's a natural condition.
Right.
It's a natural thing.
so
that
are you saying that we should not be, you're saying we should wait?
I think we should do what we were talking about earlier, and that's my opinion. Lock it down, take that money, pull it in, it's not new money, pull it in, get locked down the cost, and send for a real plant. Go out for bids, not only for construction, but go out also for engineering support, those couple of things I mentioned here.
Mm-hmm.
Go out for that, lock it up, and and this is not, the people who bid on this is not their first rodeo. They know, I mean, if they put their overrun in 5 to 10%, I feel pretty confident that they're gonna really come in on
So
schedule.
change a different way and you think we can spend the same money?
I think we will end up spending, if we did this, we would end up spending less money. That's what I think. And I think
Okay.
if it,
But the public has to understand, so we have an opportunity here for a low fund loan that is not possibly gonna be there later. Everything that you said is going to happen before we touch this money. So why wouldn't we secure this
no, wait,
Prior
when you
to.
say everything I said is gonna happen explain it.
before, so the course that we're going, everything that we're gonna do, we're gonna go to design. DEP's gonna approve it, and we're not gonna start using that money until we go out to bid and have the numbers in hand. So why wouldn't we wanna at least secure the possibility of that money instead of not?
That was my whole point, Mark. You're saying accept the $41 million.
Let's accept it on
So you're
paper.
saying the vote is a yes, we're taking, and that situation,
And let's say we go through the bid process and it's much less.
yeah.
Now we have a way to fund it for much less. I guess what isn't in the PowerPoint
Yeah.
program that we should show is what would what project cost without? Because even if you don't have it, there's still an amount of savings that you're gonna have by utilizing that state revolving fund.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't see the relevance to the point I'm making.
No, so I think, so if we vote yes, and we say yes,
Yeah.
we accept this funding, we're not gonna touch it. We're not taking a dime of that SRF funding.
Until we get to that.
No, I
If-
understand that. but-
If you, as the board and the residents said, let's use the PFAS litigation money to pay for the design. We haven't touched which is what you were talking
Yeah.
about, right?
I'm way higher than that in
No.
my
So
analysis.
my thinking is, okay, so I agree, we go for the funding, we get it approved. Now we're gonna have actual contracts, we're going to be working with Ty and Bond. And that's when we go after the stuff Bill's talking about.
Yeah.
We're not gonna pay you $4 million.
I get that,
So
yes.
so when we actually sign that contract for the cost, well, this is gonna be $500,000. not
Explain it to us.
So, and, yeah, so that's what we
But
beat
this
him
is
down.
what
the
Mark's
actual
trying to say though, is that it's like saying, yes, $41 million, the residents say yes. It's like just leaving it there, we're not paying interest, we're not paying a dime, it's not
This
gonna
is
affect.
not about.
Yes,
But-
no, it is,
Right, go
because
ahead.
you're talking about wanting to secure your numbers before you use that bond.
No,
Before
before
you-
I get the money.
Yes, before
Yes.
we actually take the
Yes.
money,
Right,
so
before
if,
I get the loan,
so if
right.
we
Right.
say yes, we accept,
Yes, under which conditions?
on the vote, for the that
For
we
the
accept
41,
your
okay.
$41
So,
million.
we accept them, that doesn't mean we signed the loan agreement with them,
Exactly.
it just means
Yes, we,
we're authorized to proceed,
yes.
that's all
So-
that means.
so
The
with-
next step, well, but that's giving the board the authorization to sign the next step,
Yes,
so.
but what Mark's trying to get across though is that we don't actually have to take or
I know.
use any of that money. So for the next 6 months, your timeline that you have of constructing, am I not?
No, I'm not articulating
I
this
guess-
well enough,
I
I
guess-
just,
No.
let me try it one more
The
time.
way it's coming to
What-
me, Bill,
this-
is you're saying, we don't need the SRF funding, we need to do these other steps first. That's what I'm getting out of your conversation.
You wanna go out to bid and design this?
Before even thinking about, so that,
Yes, I'm saying, yes, I'm saying if we go out and approve the SRF, that, what we have now, then my concern suddenly clicks in. That concern is, aside from the money, is that we have a line of credit for $41 million.
Yep.
Okay? And we have a project that's going to cost us, pick a number, 30 million, I don't know,
Yep.
okay? And because we're in that environment, this 30 million could, and in all likelihood, expand to some other number that's truly unjustified, that does not, the increased costs will not, the word is scrutiny, get the scrutiny that it needs in order to justify additional expenditures. That's what I see happen everywhere, my entire life, and I think everyone here sees that. That extra money is perceived as free cash, and it's not
Okay,
free
so-
cash.
so that's not-
That's the concern.
I understand it, but we've, in doing the Mass Ave project, Fran was on top of that project, so it came in less. It's our responsibility as a board to stay on top of this project, to manage the finances of the
As with
project.
this project would be, it's not like I can go spend $1 million on something
And
else,
I-
it's gotta go through the residents actually.
And I guess, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not willing to give up that opportunity at that special funding. Just guessing that down the road, we're gonna be able to do this project for less money and have a funding source.
No, you do, you find out first.
Right,
You
so,
find out first.
so I guess the basic question I have, are you in favor of securing the SRF funding? And the way that, the way that
I-
PowerPoint is moved out?
You
Or
know,
do you think that you'd like to gamble that opportunity should be there?
Yeah, I think we have time. I think we have time. And this concerns me because I've seen it happen so many times. The biggest culprit, of course, is the government. I say of course.
But I'm not willing to gamble that opportunity if the residents, I think it's an opportunity that's there. Do we have to use it? No. Are we going to find out a lot more information before we use it? Yes. And to be able to go back and say, wow, I'm glad we secured this opportunity because it's a benefit to the water takers in how we're financially gonna pay for this. We're not talking about a small number. If all numbers are correct and we use the SRF funding against conventional funding, we're talking about like $10 million,
It depends.
more.
Like double.
No.
You know,
it
so
depends.
why wouldn't you wanna have that opportunity there to be able to use that? It gives you that much more time to prove your point, and then at that point, if that's
Oh, no.
if that's what it is, then yeah, let's get rid of the SRF funding. We found a better way to do it. But I wouldn't wanna give that up. This costs a lot of money, and we've done all the work that we can to try to minimize those costs. So if an opportunity's there, and we have the time, all we have to do is accept it now with the plan that we have forward. I would wanna gamble right now and say no, to be honest with you. Like, that's,
I firmly believe if we got the design out and the bids for the construction and the engineering services, it would cost the water takers less money. And that's with all the
With getting a
If
bond,
that's-
with all,
SRF.
well, we don't know, that's the questions that are, what's in the slides, right?
Yeah, but
All
that's
these
the
things we were
risk.
talking about, there's some risk.
That's
There
what
is
he's
some risk.
saying.
There
He does-
is
yeah,
some risk.
I'm
But
not willing to take the
but-
risk.
Yeah, I think it would cost us less. I
We
think
gotta tie
the,
everything in, so
Yeah.
if we go some other route, not to the SRF, pretty likely you're doing bonds, the SRF.
And you've got
you're not-
temporary
you're not gonna be
borrowing.
eligible. Exactly, so you got, it was over $1 million in temporary borrowing.
Yeah,
And if
Just
they
if
really
you
need
but
to-
if we borrowed against a much smaller number,
I
I
get
agree
it,
with
but
you.
we're just,
Cause I've heard numbers come in, and I call like Grafton, which happens, coincidentally calls the next day. I question about his treatment, but it's only 500,000 gallons a day. It was just PFAS, not iron manganese. Air was
oh, wait,
more than double the price.
I think I have some of those towns.
So then,
I think
so,
I brought
so
them here with me.
the information that comes
Yeah.
across, when you dig deep in it, they're not accurate.
apples to
They're not,
apples.
yes, exactly. They're more apples to cherries, I mean.
Yeah,
if you're putting them apples to apples, let's say that you're right, Bill, and the SRF, and we should be able to do this project for less. Then it's on us as a board and on our engineers to try to do it for less. But if you go apples to apples right now, and let's say they're right, and it's a $41 million project, and we do it SRF, or we wait a year or two and it's still a $41 million project and we do it bonded, we're talking $10 million plus.
Yeah.
It's a huge
Would-
opportunity for savings.
Would you
You know.
agree that there's a lot of ifs in all of this?
There are a lot of
Okay.
ifs, but I
And
think,
it's
I
which
think,
ifs you want, and which ifs
I think there's time for us to do our job and bring all of these to the engineers and have them explain why their numbers are different.
Well,
We're
yeah, I was
gonna-
trying
and
to do
before-
that last week.
And
but
before we bring this to, where we have to use the funding, we're gonna have the whole design done. So we'll answer a lot of those questions.
It's about whether it's bass backwards or not. We're talking about the same thing as how we
Right.
get there.
Yes.
I'd rather be paying interest on a loan that's 30 million instead of 40 million. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
At
I-
4.5% or the
Yeah.
40.
well, see, that's the other
That's-
if.
that's what
That's
you're
the other if. If these numbers come in at 4 parts per trillion, we might be eligible for the money because every one of our wells exceeds the 2. So there is, granted, there's ifs out there. We don't
Yeah.
know the answers to them.
So we're
and-
making the best decision with what we have now, and it still gives us time.
Well,
It's-
the best, the word best is a kind of a relative.
Okay, we're making, well, we're
Depends who's
bringing the
saying.
opportunities forward to the public. And if-
Yes.
And for me, personally, I guess we should be a little more unified as a board. Is this an opportunity for the public? Do we see it as an opportunity for the public? Or, you know, are we gonna be split as a board as, I think it's a great opportunity to have that availability of the SRF, and we're going to find out a lot of stuff as we get there. I mean, I think that the plan, the way it was put out, I think Fran's done a great job trying to manage the finances as best we can. But I think it's an opportunity, and the public should have that right to vote on it. Do they think it's an
And
opportunity?
that's what we're gonna do.
You know, but I don't want it to, I don't wanna cast too much doubt, because yes, you have all that information, but at the end of the day, once the design is done and it comes out, it's what's going on in Lunenburg. It's not what happened here, what happened there, or you can't compare always apples to apples with information and data that you have. There's gotta be reasons, why your data is not matching up, and those are the questions that we need to ask as a board when we get to the design phase.
So a lot of these designs are in parts of the country where these are not enclosed in buildings, they're just tanks to sit
Well, not
outside.
enclosed, they might not be enclosed in buildings, they might not be insulated, they might be done with prevailing wage, they might not have been done with prevailing wage.
We're
They
not
might have,
talking,
you
we're
know,
not talking about we're talking about two things. One, the exorbitant projection for engineering costs are through the roof. I think we all could agree with that.
Yep.
The way they were selected was to
I
meet
agree.
this, okay, that's just totally off the wall. But the other thing regarding other companies, we're not talking about 2 or 3 others. We're talking about, in the end, probably hundreds of them. And yeah, so maybe Lunenburg is different in some way. In fact, I even on one of them, I asked, specifically put in Lunenburg and see what the CapEx would come out to be. And it's not 10% difference, it's not 20% difference. We're talking about a factor or 2, minimum 2, but as high as 4x on the CapEx, and that's just the building. So I would like to have an explanation of that. And again, my reasoning is, I believe we would do best for the water takers, for their bills, to take a loan out that reflects what the costs really are. And I do believe everyone at this table believes that those costs are very high and the actual costs are lower. I mean, I won't speak for you. I believe it.
I think the actual bidding, I think the price is gonna come in lower than what's there.
right,
With
so
that
that,
question.
then
With
at
that
that point,
question.
then that gives us the
Then-
opportunity to utilize that additional money for the, you know, that would typically have to be bonded to do the transmission line from Keating's. So to me, having that in your back pocket, you know, it's kind of like I have a few bills that I keep, and if anybody watches my, don't watch this, but I keep a few dollars under my visor. So when I reach in my wallet and don't have a couple bucks for a cup of coffee, I have it over my visor. So it's there. So I think that's the way I'm looking at this, is it is there for us to use.
And what I'm saying, you drive into McDonald's and all you want's a cup of coffee. You pull your visor down and say, "Oh my God, I got 20." Throw a burger in. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
get
that's what
it.
happens. It happens. It will happen. And it's not a conscious thing. It's not something that you're aware you're doing. You just don't even think about it. You don't sit down. It's if you're in a position of not having like 2 nickels rub
Well-
together versus having a lot of cash, your whole spending rationale changes.
So I'll just go to, I think I might have this in a nutshell. So you're saying that if we didn't accept the SRF funding, that you feel that once we go out to bid and go through this process, that we're gonna be so much less
Yeah.
that we wouldn't even need the opportunity of the SRF funding?
No, I didn't say that. I mean,
Okay,
if we can
so,
get it, we can get
so
it.
so to me, it's still, I think it's our due diligence to go, to have this thing go out to bid, or go through a design process and analyze all of these costs, and get it as low as we can. And then if we have that opportunity to use that funding, then it's there. If we
Yeah.
don't, if the public votes it down, that's great. My personal feeling is that we are going to spend every vote we take, every time we wait, it is going to increase the cost of this
I
project.
understand that, and I don't appreciate that,
So-
and my view is, you wanna take a loan out that reflects the actual cost, it costs less.
Yep.
And there's some
But
ifs there.
There's that
There- and
that
as
floatability
as
that we
there are
could,
ifs,
if it does come in $5 or $10 million less, we can say,
No,
all
it's-
right, we're just gonna use the SRF for that, but it would be kinda dumb not to use it for things that we're gonna get bonded funding for. So I think it's a great opportunity, but
So do you wanna maybe think of it a little different, maybe proceed with the SRF and maybe have Bill's support, and maybe have Ty and Bond reconfigure those numbers and actually go for the.
I agree that there are numbers that
He's disagreeing
are
with the principle.
skewed.
He's disagreeing with
I
the whole
agree that
principle.
some numbers might be skewed. I disagree
Yeah.
that taking because the numbers may be skewed, that we give up that opportunity.
But would you agree that, let's just take it to an extreme, I like to think of problems that go to one extreme and then the other extreme. Let's suppose the whole thing, the whole project costs, pick a ridiculous number, $8 million.
Yep.
And here we have a $41 million loan that we're paying interest on, whether it's low interest or
I'm
high.
only taking
No,
out $8
we're only
million to
taking out
pay for the
$8.
project.
Okay, that $8 million could become, because you have this cash available, could become 10 or 12.
Well, you can't use it for
Okay.
anything else that,
But,
Yes,
oh yeah,
and
but
like
that's
It's
the whole point.
restricted by SRF.
yeah.
No.
It has, and that's what happens. That's what
Yeah, but
happens in
that's- so
situations
you might
like
be
this.
saying
Where
that-
there's a, say, a grant given by, let's say the government gives a grant or whatever, it's earmarked for certain activities. You would be surprised how, I mean, I just talked tires, we can talk, you could have got out and got a Bentley, what was your thing, what's it called?
Excavator.
Excavator, you could have got a Bentley one, you didn't have to do that. Or, if you're tight, you could have got the Volkswagen version. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what happens. The cost of the projects just keeps going up because of that revised spending culture. So that's where my head is, and that's the only point I wanted to make.
I understand your point, but I definitely feel it's not how the district operates, it's not how Frayne operates. You know,
And if I did wanna spend money, let's say we had $1 million left over, whatever I wanted to spend has to go through you guys for me to do it. So, you're
we
still.
wouldn't even have to, the way the
That
vote,
doesn't
the way the
change that.
vote is going to go for this, if this vote goes through and it goes through, we are voting to approve $41 million for the PFAS treatment, the plant and the transmission main from Hickory Hills to Lancaster Ave. We're also voting on top of that to secure funding for the transmission main from Keating's, and that's gonna be at a different funding rate. So, any one of those, we could decide that we don't wanna move forward with. But I wouldn't see it,
Now, I'm assuming that this vote locks in that Keating connection.
it locks in the Keating connection. I guess it's just a matter of do we use the SRF funding for it or not, depending upon where the project comes in at,
Bidding comes in there.
so.
Which I didn't mention it here, it's just tangentially relating to this. But this whole thing about the cost of that line, I've seen it from $6,000, last week was here, to $10,000.
What line?
And in the main from Keating, I keep saying line.
6 to 10 million, you're
Yeah,
saying?
6 to 10 million from Keating.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever.
So
heard of
it all depends,
And,
When did we say 10?
it
I
was.
never heard 10.
Yeah, it's here, I'll show it to you, it's one of the tables in one of the reports, it was 10 million. I take my word for it, it's 10 million,
So
I
this-
went
this
dig
is
through all these
where it-
papers.
This
So-
is where the design is going to tell them, because they need to have the engineering firm do the surveys, set up the whole project. And then that's when the numbers start coming into
Yeah.
action.
And, I understand that to some degree, but these are not like dollars, I'm going back to the real cost, I'm going back to the real cost. To solidify the real cost as best we could, and I think that would serve the residents best. And some of these possibilities could go south on us, okay? It could go south, but then it could also go north, especially if those PFAS requirements go down. Then just think of everything that we become eligible for. I mean,
There's so much that could happen one way or another. All I'm asking is, let's put that money above the visor, so if we need it, it's there.
okay.
That's kind of.
As long as you
what I'm
guarantee me
asking.
you're only gonna get a cup of coffee.
I'm only gonna get, well,
That's
I
the
don't
thing,
know.
too. 'cause
If
you
he
don't
gets more,
have
he's gotta
to.
talk to his wife.
Yeah.
There's still someone high.
was looking.
So I guess we didn't make any
No,
any
oh, here it
movement
is, I don't,
movement
maybe you
on
can tell me where
that.
that 10 million, I forgot what report, it may have got out of pilot studies or the master plan. And the master plan actually had a 12-inch line from Keating to Lancaster,
I
and
think
then it was a 16-inch line because of pressure drops. And that was a different, like $3 million.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we're
Which
actually
huge.
talking to drop it to a
I
12.
think they were talking about.
Yeah, Hickory Hills would drop into an 8 instead of a 12. Yeah, I don't really know that.
Yeah.
So that's, and if we're, there was only one other topic I wanted, this is really, really quick, if we're finished debating that one.
Yeah,
The agenda, we can't really talk about it here, I guess, because in detail, because Woody owns, the chairman owns the agenda. But we should work on a process for it. I'm kind of confused about, I'm kind of confused what the process is. I'd like to take a few minutes at the next meeting to talk about if we can put it in a process. It gets involved too with open meeting issues. If one of us were to call, say Woody, and say, hey, and start talking about an agenda item, and
You
you
would
watch
call
out. We'd have to go
Fran
through
or I.
Fran or go through Christie. But that whole process of how we do it and how we disseminate it, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about that, if that makes sense with you guys.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm wondering if some of the commissioner, superintendent, clerk, treasurer's additions, I'm wondering if we're getting out of bounds that some of these things should be agenda items.
I agree. So we know we're.
Because,
I agree, so
because
we
there
know-
are things that are brought up, but maybe they should have, like, the whole conversation we just had that probably took a half hour.
I know.
Probably should have been an agenda item,
Yeah,
so
I
that
agree.
people were aware that it was in here somewhat, but. Yeah, no, so the hard thing is, when you set up the agenda, if there's something you would like to discuss and you wanna put it on the agenda, then you should be able to call the clerk treasurer and say, hey, I'm really concerned about this, I'd love to put this on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, we can always decide whether it's a topic that we should really be discussing or try to get more information on. So anything should be able to go on the agenda. Any public, unless we had a long and involved meeting, I've seen sometimes where somebody might request to be on the agenda for the select board, and they're like, well, we got way too much going on, or on a committee meeting, and they say, I'm sorry, can we push it to the next one? But most boards and commissions are pretty open to allowing things to be on their
Yeah.
agenda.
I'm just talking process, that's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it
Well,
would
I
be
can
up to
message you,
the
just-
chair to look at it.
Email me, they have to go out 48 hours in advance, but like this one was a quick one this meeting was because town halls are always closed on Friday. Monday was the holiday, so this week it was like, oh my gosh, we gotta get it posted Thursday because of the holiday weekend, but yeah, I think I've emailed you, you just typically gotta,
Yeah,
By
actually,
Mondays
I'm sorry, go finish your thought, because you just reminded me of something.
well, that's all I was gonna say, by Mondays,
Yeah,
because I have to have that posted by.
I sent you a note, that it was supposed to be attached, I don't, Outlook is that, I've never used Outlook.
Oh, yeah, I
And I don't
realized
know
after,
what-
I sent- and then I wasn't here Friday. I
Oh,
was out
so
with
it
my
wasn't
kids.
attached, because I looked.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
follow, I didn't see it till afterwards, and by then,
Oh, okay, I thought, because I said,
yesterday.
where does Outlook stick these things? Because
Sorry.
I don't have anything to look at to see, and I couldn't find it, so, all right. No, I just think it'd be a good discussion.
We could put that on our next agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And, it'll work.
Believe it or
Agenda on
not, that's
the
all I
agenda.
have.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Oh, yeah, you still got.
public comment.
Oh, yeah. Public comment.
As long as you're done, you gonna add anything?
I'm not gonna add anything, I'm good for
Okay,
tonight.
good, perfect. Yes, I have some.
Okay?
John Fortune, 50 Hemlock Drive. Just a note, as I was listening to you, we talked about the meeting or whatever, you may need to figure in a way to have a separate vote to design the treatment plant if the other one doesn't go through, because that's still money that you're spending, right? You may need to have that.
True.
I'm just throwing that out there so you have it, so you don't
So
lose
we'll
it.
add that to the list, we got the other Wellsman and Keatings, the treatment plant, which we're waiting on the proposal, so it'd be great if we could kick that
yeah, then you
If
can.
we had
take it
the
off and you
proposal number, we could probably add it
Yes.
to it.
Yeah.
I'm missing, could you repeat that, John? What?
Yeah, because they're two separate things, right? The way that you were talking tonight, they're two separate things. One is the design of the plant,
Yeah,
and one is all the SRF funding and the other funding for the whole thing. But you said, as you were talking here, that no matter how that gets voted, you still wanna spend money on a treatment plant.
We
to
can still
design
use the
treatment
litigation
plant.
money and
And that's
design it.
And you just,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just saying, don't lose track of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
my only point. Second thing I'd just like to add, I was, you know, in listening to Chrissy talk about the number of people that are behind. So you're talking about with the whole plant, the treatment and all that stuff and all the interest and everything, it's $67 million
Yeah, that's what I was
over
thinking.
30 years, right? It's basically $1,000 a year for the cost of the loan, to build the plant and the operating, right? So, you know, my bill today is about $500 a year. It's gonna go up to $1,500 a year. It's a ton of money. And if you already have a couple hundred people that are behind, you're gonna have way more. So you just, you know, just kind of keep that thought. I had mentioned a friend, you had mentioned it earlier, about some other way to fund this, whether it be the cost of water or whatever, but it's just, you know it, I know it, it's just a ton of money. I'm just not sure everybody else realizes how much we're talking about.
concern
And
is
that, along with the town trying to get another $1,000 and, right, nothing's getting any cheaper. So, those are my only comments, I agree.
Yeah. It's the concern about the inevitability of it, that's a problem.
Yeah,
And certainly to put it off another year, especially with all the things that you're mentioning, would help them.
well, if it really was just 41 million and not, I mean, or, you know, or 56 million and not 67, that's better, but we don't know. You know, so, and I understand the dilemma you have.
Okay, any more public comment?
Still awake.
I got nothing.
You're up, Bill.
Oh, I moved to adjourn. Perfect. Wait, I just said over here.
Unplug me.